Hi guys, Shady Games here today and welcome back to my channel where we are back with another speed build in The Sims 4. So today we are building an apartment for a single dad who has 8 kids, which is honestly a nightmare to me. I don't know how he'd cope, but he has them all. So this one is a longer video, so you might want to go grab a snack, get a little comfy and settle in. So here I am just doing the floor plan, seeing how I'm going to fit in all these rooms for all these kids. Some of them do have to share because obviously they can't have their own room, but I try and break it down into like age groups so that it kind of makes sense for them to share. And then I kind of wanted a decent size like living area too, so they've all got somewhere to hang out, and obviously we need like a big kitchen so that they've got somewhere to eat their breakfast and stuff. I gave the dad the biggest bedroom just because I feel like sometimes he might just need a break from these kids and to like hide away in his bedroom for a bit so he's not being bothered. But this is what I'm working on now, is currently the entryway, and I decided that instead of having it like just come straight into the room, I wanted to divide it off a bit because I imagine these kids have a lot of clutter and a lot of stuff. So I gave them like this little entry section where they could come in, dump their bags, take their shoes off, that kind of thing. And then I just sectioned it off with some arches. And now I'm coming in and sectioning off a bathroom area. I do make the bathroom slightly bigger just because obviously there are so many Sims in this room or in this flat. And then there's also 2 additional bathrooms. So the dad ends up with an ensuite, and then there's like a Jack and Jill type bathroom between 2 of the kids' bedrooms. Just because I feel like having one bathroom with like 9 Sims would just be an absolute nightmare. So yeah, I added in, it ends up with 3 bathrooms, which I think is a decent amount for the size of this household. I'm now coming in and just kind of deciding on a colour scheme I wanted for the house. I wasn't really sure where to go with it because, to be honest, I don't really build builds just for like male Sims. I never have really have a male only household. I normally play with female Sims, so it was like a little bit of a challenge for me coming in and deciding how I wanted this space to be. I do kind of have it, I kind of want to say masculine, but I don't even know what that means really. How would you have like a masculine room? But it's not as cozy as my other games, and I'm not saying that obviously men can't have cozy spaces. I just imagine that this guy is kind of so focused on working and looking after his family, he hasn't really had enough time to come in and really make the place his own. So we use a lot of dark colours, a lot of blues in the main house, and yeah, it's just a bit more, it's not as comfy cozy as I normally go for. It's like just a little different style, which I enjoyed doing. And then it was another challenge trying to make all the kids' rooms like individual to them, and have them all have like their own personality. I do have fun with that though. I really like having builds like based around a specific Sim or a specific personality. Those are my favourite to make. So I did have a lot of fun doing the kids' bedrooms, and I will like explain who they are and give you like a little bit of their personality as we get to each of their rooms. So I'm now coming in and just adding the windows in, because when I deleted the lot to start off with, it also deleted all the windows. So I was just trying to get some that matched the rest of the building so they just didn't look like completely odd. And then I'm working on the kitchen / dining area now. It is a kitchen diner combined, and I felt like they'd have like a semi-big kitchen because obviously it's a big family, and I imagine this place is so chaotic all the time. But I kept it like the tones like very neutral. It's very grey in here. I bring in some of the blue from the main living area and just kind of thread it throughout. I'm trying to find a dining table that's going to fit everybody around it, which was kind of a nightmare, a little bit. Just trying to find one that fit the space and would also fit in all the Sims. I was debating doing this like rectangular one for a while. I really like this dining table, I like those chairs, but I felt like it stuck out into the room a little bit too much, and at this point I was kind of debating maybe extending the kitchen to make it just slightly longer. I don't think I ever end up doing that because I feel like the space is just not big enough to have a bigger kitchen. The dining kitchen area is a slightly awkward space with the bay window there. I do make it work out in the end, but I don't think I end up extending it. I'm now switching over to do the living room. I do kind of jump around a bit, not like loads, but I do kind of work on the kitchen a little bit, and then I'm like, right, let's go do the living space to see how much room I need there, to see like plan out the kitchen a little bit better with like having walkways and stuff. So I'm coming in now trying to find a sofa, and again I wanted something like that looked comfy and like cozy, because I feel like some of these sofas in The Sims 4 don't look like you could sit on them for ages and relax. They don't look comfy at all. And then I found this blue one which kind of sets the tone for bringing in some blues into the build, and I really like this one. It has like a blanket draped over one of the arms and some cushions. I just think it's like really nice. And then I add in a couple of accent chairs. I do kind of play around with different styles for a while. I have these ones originally that they're not they don't match the sofa, but I feel like they match kind of with the colour, so I felt like they could work. And then I bring in these more beanbag ones because I think the kids will just love sitting on them, and they look a little bit fun. I feel like they'd be so comfortable that you could kind of like sink into them. I then added in like this big coffee table in the centre, because I imagine like of an evening, maybe as the kids are watching TV, they're all clustered around it doing their homework or something, so I wanted to add in like a decent sized one where they could kind of sit around it a bit. I then added in a grey rug underneath. I'm decided between a couple of options because I feel like I've not got like a set style going on currently, so it's kind of hard to try and find a rug that's going to pull like the room together. But I think I end up going with this one from Discover University. I'm not sure if I change that at some point later on. I very well might do. And then in the kitchen, I decided to go for a round table rather than the rectangular one, just because I feel like it fits the space a little bit better and it doesn't like stick out into the room so much. So I just kind of tuck it away a little bit into the bay, and I think it just kind of opens up the kitchen a little bit more to have more room to like move around, because obviously there are 8 Sims living in this house, so breakfast times or even just meal times in general are going to be very chaotic with people coming in and now moving around and all that. So I feel like they'd want to maximize like the floor space as much as possible to stop like from running into each other. I'm now just trying to come in and do the dreaded task of trying to find some curtains for all of these windows. I don't know why, but I feel like I've said this once and I'll say it again. Me and the curtains in The Sims don't always get along. We have a love-hate relationship. Occasionally we'll get on and, I'll find some pretty much straight away, but other times it takes me a while to find some that fit the windows. And then by the side of the cooker here, I thought it'd be really cute if we added in some backpacks and some lunch boxes. I don't imagine this space as being too organised. I feel like it's very chaotic. The dad has got a lot on his hands with all these kids and, working. I kind of imagine him maybe being like a police officer or something like that. So he's just got a lot going on. So it's just not the most organised. And I like that though. I like having like little threads of like the people who live in the house scattered throughout of it. Me personally, I am not an organised person. I like a lot of clutter. I like a lot of things in a house to show like who lives there. So I reflect that in my Sims houses. I'm going through now and I'm just pulling out anything that I think might look good in this house and kind of putting it off to the side, so that when I come to do each of the rooms, I've got like a little cluster of items that I want to use. I kind of generally do that with a lot of my builds. As I'm going around and like looking through the catalogue, if I see something that I think will fit another room, I just pull it out because I'm going to lose it or I'll forget about it. So when I see it, I just like to get it out so that I don't forget about it. I'm now coming in and adding in some top cupboards because, again, I think this house would utilise storage a lot. There's a lot of people in here and kids have a lot of crap. So I feel like they'd need as much like cupboards and stuff as they could to kind of fit all that in. It was a bit difficult trying to fit them in above the fridge because obviously we have the window there, but I kind of clip them a bit. They are like overlapping slightly, but I try and line it up as best as I can so that it's kind of seamless. And I think from like a distance you can't really tell that they are like inside each other. And then above the cooker here, I added some utensils, which is currently my favourite thing to do. I love adding in these utensils on the wall, and I love adding in the pots, like the frying pans and stuff. I'm not sure why. I feel like I forgot they existed, and now I've like relearned that they are actually an item in the game. My brain just wants to use them in every single build. I just think it looks cute hanging them on the wall and using some vertical space. Because sometimes I feel like in kitchens especially, if you have like the cabinets on the floor and then you have the wall cabinets, you have like this blank space in between them, and if you haven't got tiles or something, it can kind of look a bit odd. So I like to just use them to break up the space. I put some like a little cake thing on top of the fridge because I think that looks so cute. I do that in so many of my builds. I just think it adds like a little bit of character onto the fridge. And then next to it I had a bread bin. I use a swatch that kind of looks like it's been drawn on, as if maybe the kids have come in and like customized it a little bit. And then on top of the cabinets I had wine, because I feel like if a dad's got 8 kids, he's going to want some wine of an evening. So we pop it up there, out of the hands of the kids, like out of temptation or whatever, because some of the kids are older, they might be tempted to like try a little bit. And then on the wall here, I add in like a little schedule so that everyone can keep track of what they're doing, what clubs they're in, and just like keep track of where everybody is. I do then add in like a calendar and just kind of some stuff the kids have made. I wish we had more art stuff that like you put on the walls for the kids that kind of looks like hand-drawn stuff. When I was doing this build, it kind of completely like evaded my mind that you can go onto the gallery and you can download things like that. And I probably should have done that because people upload like different art pieces, so I could have pulled down some like more kiddie art and put it on the wall as if like they've given it to dad, and they put it on the fridge and stuff. In this corner here I add in some what are they called, like aprons. I completely forgot the word for that then. So aprons, as if they do some baking of the weekend. And again, just another notice board, because I feel like everybody in this house is always probably doing a lot. They might be all the kids are like involved in different clubs on different days of the week, so they kind of just put on the notice board their plan for the week so that everybody knows where everybody is going to be. And then next to it, I'm just kind of looking again for some more clutter that might be on the walls. I pull out this dustpan and brush sets because I feel like this house doesn't have like a set like utility space, so they might just hang it on the wall in the kitchen. I add in this blackboard on the wall as if maybe it's a menu for the week, so like the dad writes it on a Sunday, so like each day the kids aren't like, what's a tea, he can just be like, go look at the board, we've already organised this. And then I add in some other like kids clutter and handmade drawings. In the hallway then, I don't know if it was kind of quick, but I did in a height chart because I think it'd be so cute if you kept like a track record of all their heights. I really wanted one of those when I was little. I feel like I watched it in a movie one time where, I can't remember what it was, but I just have this memory of there was a height chart on the wall and the family was moving out and they had to paint over it, and the kids really didn't want to like paint over it because it was like their childhood and stuff. And I can't remember what movie it was, but since I saw that, I've always wanted one. Obviously I'm too old now, I've stopped growing. So I kind of add it in my Sims houses and live vicariously through them. I was then trying to see if I could fit in like another side unit again, just for some extra storage in this space in the kitchen. But I had to be like mindful because obviously we had all those chairs, so they all needed to be accessible. So in the end, I just added this little trolley in the corner here, and it's like a crafts trolley, I think. So maybe the kids like put all their craft stuff on it, and then when they're playing with it they can bring it out, play on the coffee table in the living room, and then it all goes back. So it's kind of organised, but it's still kind of in the living room. I'm now coming in and just trying to find a rug to go in front of the taps in the kitchen, but I don't think I end up actually having one because I feel like because I've already added one underneath the dining table, I couldn't find one that fits. And then throughout the living room, I just add in a couple of baskets, like one of toys and then a couple with like quilts in them and blankets, just so that when they are like watching movies and stuff, I can get a bit cozy. And then on the I know they call it a dining table then, it's not, it's a coffee table. I just add some general kids clutter, like a craft set that's like half done, some books, a lunchbox, just to show that this space is like used, I guess. So yeah, and then I add like a little plant in the corner. And then moving on into the entryway now, I add in like a little sideboard. Again, it's got some storage in it. Maybe they keep all their shoes in there. I add a mirror above it so that everybody can check that they're looking presentable before leaving the house. And then just a couple of plants either side. No, not plants, sorry. A couple of lamps either side. Do you know what? I'm always thinking of plants because I love putting plants in my build. That is incorrect. They were lamps. And then a chair. I feel like my entryways kind of all go the same theme. There's always some sort of unit, there's a mirror, there's a chair, and then there's like the coat stand and stuff. I feel like I probably need to branch out a bit and possibly do something else, but I feel like that's just a standard entryway. You've got somewhere to put your shoes on, somewhere to sit down, somewhere to put your coats. There's not really much else you could put there, unless it's like more of a bigger entryway where you could put like more of a seating section or even like a bookshelf or something, but this is quite small. So I didn't really have a lot to work with. Again, I add in a few bags for the kids as if they just walked through the door and dumped them on the floor, because I imagine that is what kids do. I feel like they just, even though their bedroom isn't that far away because it's like a 1-story apartment, they definitely wouldn't put them in their rooms. And then I add some sports gear again. They've just come in and they've just dumped it on the floor. It's okay, Dad will put it away. And then on the stand here, I added some water bottles for the kids and then just some like general clutter. This is me trying to find the clutter pack now, just to add some like car keys, like phones, that kind of just general stuff to go on the side. And then I do my favourite thing where we just add in a plant in the middle to finish off the space. So next, I think I do go onto the bathroom, I believe. I think I'm just trying to find some lighting that is going to kind of go with everything. Also, I didn't say, but I added in some dog balls in the kitchen underneath the window because this house definitely has a golden retriever. They have some sort of dog. I'm just going to say it's a golden retriever because I feel like that's such like a family dog that they would have one. And then coming into the bathroom here, like I said, it's slightly bigger because we have so many people here. And it is like a bathroom cum laundry area. So I add in some laundry next to the bath there in a second. I'm just adding in the vanity. And for this one, I decided to go for 2 sinks because I feel like of a morning, everybody's rushing around and you can have more than one person brushing their teeth at the same time. I feel like this bathroom has always just got like 2 or 3 people in it of a morning, like just running over each other trying to get ready. I then try and find some blinds for the windows, which again is a bit of an issue because the window shapes are like, they're a bit weird with the frame as well, that it was kind of hard for me to find some that like fit around the frame properly, but I go with these blinds in the end and I feel like they fit because they're just perfect for a bathroom. I then add a couple of mirrors above each of the sinks with a light above each one. And then on the desk here, I come in and I add my clutter as usual. We do add a lot of clutter. I make this bathroom quite messy because I feel like, again, having so many kids in here and people aren't, they're not going to put things away. They're going to like come in of a morning, brush their hair, leave the hairbrush on the side, change their clothes, leave their clothes on the floor. I don't personally have kids, but I have been a kid. And I just know that kids don't put stuff away. So if they use something, it just kind of gets dropped wherever they use it and left on the side. So I add in some like combs and stuff, some toothbrushes. I cram like 2 little dressing gowns on the side here. So like once they've had their bath, they can put on a robe. I feel like that toilet brush is so big. I've started sizing it down in my bills just because I don't know why it's massive. It's just ridiculously big. And then on the wall here I add in a little first aid cupboard with an iron, because again they don't have that much like closet storage, so I feel like they'd use the walls to like just store things. And then a wash basket next to the sink, as if maybe the dad is like halfway through laundry, so he's kind of got a laundry basket in here while he's going through it. I'm just shuffling it around now because I found this iron that I liked a little bit better. So I like move everything to fit it in. And then I move the laundry basket next to the toilet so that second sink is actually usable because we're going to need it in here. I love adding these around the toilets. These came from the bathroom clutter kit and I feel like they're just perfect. I love that they have like the little cutter. I feel like they're very 90s. I don't know how many people have them around their toilet like nowadays. I personally don't have a little mat around my toilet. I have one like a bath mat, but I don't have one around my toilet. And I feel like when I was growing up, everyone used to have to, well, I say everyone, like the older generation, I'd say like the grandparents, when I went to my grandparents' house, they used to have like a little rug around the toilet. I personally don't have one because I feel like it's not that hygienic, but I thought it was cute, so I add it in now. I then add in just like a few little clusters of laundry, as if maybe the dad's halfway through it. He's kind of organising it still. Or like when the kids are having showers, they've just like left all their clothes on the floor, like I said, because that is what kids do. I'm just organising the clutter around like the sinks a little bit better, so it's just a little bit more like realistic, I guess, and not just like it's dumped there. And then I'm coming in to try and find some other stuff. There is a mixture of girls in this house, so I think it ends up with 4 girls and 3 boys, I think. There's one of them is a toddler, so I've kind of left that gender open to be whatever you want it to be. So it could be 5 girls and 2 boys or 3 boys and 2 girls. Having said that though, the bedrooms, I feel like I do the bedrooms like pink or whatever, but a boy could live in a pink bedroom. I feel like colours are like, I don't associate a colour with a gender, but I'm going to say boys and girls in this instance because as I've made the bedrooms, I've envisioned their genders, but you can just do whatever you want. So now I'm coming in and doing this like Jack and Jill bathroom here, which I feel like is an American thing. We don't really have these in the UK. I know that in like dorm rooms in America, you tend to have them. That's where I've kind of seen them the most, but obviously in the UK, we don't share dorm rooms. We have our own private room. We just kind of share a flat, so we don't really have these Jack and Jill bathrooms, but I thought it'd be good for the 2 bedrooms to share one because we're going to need that extra bathroom. And then in here I really like that mirror with like the sticky notes, as if they like leave notes for each other, or maybe like just things they need to do in the day and they just kind of have it on there as like a note to remember. There's not too much space in here to add like clutter, but I add some basic stuff like toilet roll and some toothbrushes and some soap. And then I think down the side of the toilet here, I'm just kind of looking for something else to fit. I'm not sure if I end up pulling it out, so I won't say it, just in case I don't. But I had a towel rail there, and then a couple of dressing gowns just to the side of the shower. All the standard stuff that I probably do in every single build. And then add in like a little caddy into the shower there. And is this where I do it? I'm not sure if I'm going to. I do. There we go. I get mixed up sometimes whether I do things in this build or in one of my previous builds. But I just add that like little dresser next to the toilet there, and then a hair dryer onto the floor there from where they've probably been styling their hair. I debate adding a plant next to the toilet because I just have to add plants into every single room, but I feel like that's not very practical, so I end up adding just this hanging one in the corner instead. So now I am coming in and doing the first of the kids' bedrooms, which I imagine this to be twin girls. I imagine they are probably like children, so maybe like 8, 9. And yeah, they are, I imagine it to be identical twins, if that makes any difference. So I come in now and I add some pink wallpaper, and then I do blue for the room next door. And then I kind of want them to still have their own personalities, like despite being like twin sisters and like sharing a room, I kind of wanted the room to kind of be divided so that they kind of had their own little area. So although they kind of have similar aesthetics, they're not like completely the same. So one side is pink and then the other side is a purple colour. They both get like a little alarm clock on the nightstand there, and I only just realised that it's toast. The thing like sticking up from it is toast coming out of a toaster. When I used to think it was a chicken. I can't remember, I was like looking at it recently and I was like, wait, that's called a toast alarm clock. I really thought it was a chicken, and like the bit on top was like the part of it, like the top of the chicken's head. I don't know, don't ask. But I give them both like a little bag at the end of their beds, and then they have a dresser in the corner. They both do end up getting a desk. I just kind of had to shuffle it around so that the door is still usable, because I feel like they'd both have like somewhere where they can do their homework, like a little bit of, not privacy, because I feel like you can't have a privacy when you're in a room with somebody else, but they could maybe just come in here away from the hustle and bustle of the main house. I added in like a little chair in the corner, and then like a fluffy rug. I really love this fluffy rug. I wish it came in a bigger size so you could have it as like a main area rug, but I do tend to use it in a lot of my builds. Again, I put in some backpacks. I don't know how many backpacks this house ends up with. It's probably far more than 8. But maybe they have a couple each and like they just share them. I don't know. I add in some like school supplies, like books and stuff by the chair there as if they've been studying. And then on the wall I just get some posters of things they like. I imagine this like child is into fashion a lot. So they are really into like makeup and like they watch like fashion shows and stuff. Like they're into horses, like very stereotypical girly girl things. So I add all that to the walls, all the posters, and then I give them like a little journal, because I imagine like it'd be really cute if they journaled before they went to bed. And then on their desk here, I'm just coming in and I added in some makeup brushes. I pulled out that one set and I was going to add that, but it was like a hobby set, and I feel like this sim isn't really into crafts, so I removed it and swapped it for like a bigger makeup bit, so it has like a bit for their brushes and then a couple of makeup palettes. I think it just fits them like a little bit better. And then come in and add like a little lamp onto their nightstand. I really like this moon lamp. I like both of their moon lamps. There's this one, and then there's the one with the star, and I feel like I use them a lot in my builds. They're just so cute. And then I come in and try and figure out if I can fit some string lights around the room. They were so awkward to place. I feel like they kind of overlap very, very slightly, just because they're such an awkward, like the room maybe is just an awkward shape, but I kind of make them work in the end. And then on the windows, I add in like these little net curtains I think these were from high school, and I just colour them. I did debate having the one that kind of fits into the purple side of the bedroom purple, just kind of as if she's picked that one, but I decided not to because it looked weird. So I kind of figured like maybe the girl who lives on the pink side was older, so like maybe she was born like a couple of seconds before her twin, so she's like, I'm the oldest, I'm picking the curtain colour. And she got to pick that one. And then for this twin, I felt like her side of the room is a little bit smaller. So to compensate for that, I gave her these shelves where she could add in all her favourite things. So I put on some magazines and stuff. I imagine this sim she is girly like her twin, but I feel like she's also into science. I do add some science posters, and I kind of hide them because I feel like maybe she's not embarrassed of it, but maybe because it's like a lot different from her twin, she kind of just doesn't, she's like just getting into it, and she doesn't kind of want to like tell her twin outright in case like her twin mocks her for it. I don't think her twin would. I imagine them being like quite close, but maybe she's just like a little bit, I don't know, more reserved about it. So yeah, she's into science. I give her some snacks on the shelf as well, and I give her loads of books because she is, I think she'd read a lot. She'd like look into journals and stuff, and I imagine her like doing the skills that are like quite logical. yeah, she's just a little bit different from her twin, and I think that's fine. But I think she also does enjoy the girly things, which, you know, you can do both. And then just add some various clutter to the top of it, like this camera set, I guess I think it's called. It's got like a camera and then like a photo frame and a rose, and then again some makeup, because I think she is into like a little bit of makeup. I've been thinking about like why the dad is a single dad of so many children, and I think that is up to you guys to interpret if you like end up following along with this story or whatever. Like maybe the mum just left, maybe they just weren't working out, maybe something worse happened to the mum and she's not around for other reasons. Possibly, I'd probably go for that one because I love a damaged sim. What can I say? I love a tragic storyline. Just when my sims are like happy living their life, I'm like, uh-oh, drama. I just think it mixes it up a little bit. I don't remember the last time I did like a Let's Play where, or like a play of The Sims where all my sims just got happy normal lives. There's always some kind of drama going on. And then I just come in and add some stuff on the floor because I feel like, again, these are kids, they're going to be messy. So just some homework stuff, some sports equipment, and then just some of like the floor clutter that's got like books and clothes and stuff, and then a hamper there in the corner, and then to finish it off we add a light, and then we go now onto the second bedroom, which is kind of like the Jack and Jill side, and this is for two boys. I imagine though that these boys' ages are a little bit different. I imagine one is maybe like a little bit younger than not a toddler, but like maybe like 5 or 6, so a little bit younger than the twins. And then their brother is a little bit older. So I imagine the brother maybe like 13, 14, even 15. So I try and divide it up by, the brother has like a more of a mature style. I feel like he's at that age now where he's kind of not really into kids stuff. He kind of is a bit embarrassed if like his brother is around playing with all his toys. And he's like, he's too old for that. Like, he thinks he's too mature. But his kid brother is really into his toys still. I imagine he is also into science and space and stuff. So I bring out some like of the different prints that have like space patterns and rocket ships and stuff. This is where I change like the direction with the older kid and go for like a little bit more of a sophisticated style. I imagine he's like at that age where he's probably just like registering girls are a thing and he likes them or like whatever gender he is into. So he's kind of like trying to impress them. So he's like into his clothes a little bit, trying to make sure he looks good and smiles good all the time. Kind of at that age, I feel like. And then add in like a little dress. I give them one each, and then I style the top of it like a little bit different for each of them to say like they've added their own personality to the top. In the younger kid's side, he has a desk underneath it where he might do his homework and stuff. The older kid doesn't have a desk on his side, unfortunately. He is, I guess he's too mature, but I guess he can share his kid brothers if he really wants to. But I imagine he's kind of out of the house a lot. He doesn't like the hustle and bustle of everything that's going on. He's always out with his friends, just hanging around the streets, whatever kids do these days. So on top of the younger kid's side of the dresser, I added in some toys and this cute little robot light, which I think would fit him perfectly. And then on the other side, for like the more mature kid, I just give him some like aftershave and stuff. I keep it very sleek, very minimal. I don't think he'd have a lot of clutter around. I think he'd keep his space very organised and very neat. So I don't give him like a bunch of stuff all over the floor. I feel like him and his brother maybe have a little bit of friction because his brother is obviously younger and he plays with his toys and just leaves them everywhere. His side is very much more chaotic, where his older brother wants to keep the room very organised and very neat and like not a stinking mess. So maybe they like come to blows a little bit. But I think as on the like whole, I think apart from like a few family squabbles, which I think are probably expected with a house this big, I think they all do get on with each other and they are all there for each other. So like if something happened, they would all rally around. There's no like animosity or anything or hatred between any people in this family. There's not like a particular outcast. I think they're all very much supportive of each other. I think that's nice. I very rarely do builds where there's not some sort of like, normally it's like, oh, the teenager is like the outcast because the family want to like her to be, I don't know, a scientist, but she just wants to be in a rock band. Do you know what I mean? Like I normally have the teen gets pregnant and her family like kick her out. Like there's always something going on in my family. So it was nice to do a little bit of a wholesome moment for once. I clutter up the little brother side with some craft kits, and then I'm coming in now and adding some stuff onto the brother side. Like I said, he has it's very minimal. Maybe he's like into movies, so I did a couple of movie posters, and that's basically it. His side is very sleek, I feel like, but the brother side is like got stuff everywhere. It's like if there was a space, he's crammed it with something. So I add some like little kid art prints, and like some decals from Cats and Dogs. This is where it would have been good to have some from the gallery. I need to remember that that's an option to download stuff from there, because it's like not CC, so if I put this on the gallery, you guys download it, I'm pretty sure it'd come down with it. So yeah, I need to remember that's a thing. And then I just give the older brother a guitar. I feel like he's very soulful, and he maybe writes music and stuff, and I gave him a little hat collection because I feel like that's what the kids do these days. They collect hats and trainers and stuff. I don't know, I'm not really into that. I don't think I'm quite cool enough. And then on top of his dresser, he just gets some aftershave and some magazines, which I think I delete. Yeah, I just give him some aftershave because, like I said, I think he'd want to be smelling nice all the time. And now this was me debating where I wanted to go next, like which kids' room I wanted to do, and I decided to go to this one because I had a vision of the sim living here. So this sim is older. These are definitely an older teenager, maybe 17, 18. Don't quote me on these ages because I don't know if there's like 9 months between them all. But they are older, so they're definitely in high school, like the end of high school. And I imagine the sim to be very artsy. I feel like they painted the walls themselves in this colour, and the dad has let them. I think the dad's pretty chill. As long as they're not wrecking the house, I think he'd let them do that. So I imagine they came in and they painted it. They've got, I love this bed. I use this bed all the time. It's like it's got so many good swatches on it. It's got like this sun on it, this one. And then I'm just coming in to see what colour I want those bedside tables. For the dresser, I used one that has like stickers because I feel like they're artsy, so they'd kind of put their personality into a lot of things of their room. And then I use this mirror again. Absolutely love it. It's so cute. And again, the colours are so good. I feel like I think the high school pack is so good. It has so many good stuff. I'm pretty sure that came from the high school pack. Don't quote me. And then I add in like a little art area for them so that they can do their art from home. And again, I dot loads of hobby stuff throughout the house, so that, because I think they would be very creative into, I give them the cross stitching pack even. And then I was trying to find, I knew this rug that I've put down existed, but I couldn't find it. So I found the newspaper and I added that. But the newspaper comes from the pets pack, and it's like for puppies, so like who aren't potty trained or like toilet trained. And you could tell from putting it down. So I had to delete it in the end. Again, I pull out loads of hobby kits and loads of like boxes full of stuff that I just kind of dot around their room. Maybe like me, let me know if you're also guilty. I get into hobbies and I'm fully invested in them for about a month and then I don't ever touch it again. So I've got loads of half-started craft projects throughout my house. I'll watch somebody do something on YouTube like clay and I'm like, oh my god, that looks so good. You make it look so easy. It's not, they're just really talented and like have probably studied for like years to make themselves look easy. So I buy all the stuff thinking I'm going to be as good as them, and I'm not. And then I quit. And then I just have it hanging around my house. So I imagine the sim is probably a little bit the same. They have a lot of half-started crafts everywhere. And then I've given them some jigsaws and some board games just by the desk there. Yeah, I just think I think it's so funny. I think maybe this family also has like a family, like a nightly game night where they all get together because they are all so busy off doing their own things. Like maybe not the younger kids, but the kids are always in clubs and stuff, so it's nice to get together off a weekend or off an evening and just play board games once or twice a week. For the walls, I kind of kept them very simple. I felt like I didn't want to take away from the like style of the wallpaper. I really like that like wave moment they've got going on, so I feel like they wouldn't have added too much to the walls to take away from that, so I just added in a couple of posters. And then again, you know me and plants at this point, so I add in a plant wall because who wouldn't want that? I don't know. I feel like I do think just adding like a little pop of greenery can really finish a build off sometimes. I think it just pulls a room together as evident by my many plants I add to all of my builds. I do end up giving them like a little space to do their makeup, because I do think they'd be into their appearance as well. Maybe they're like a little bit alternative or whatever, or even not. Maybe they're just like very like, I don't know, like pastel. Yeah, I think they'd do like really cool makeup, like really cool eyeliner and stuff. Like it's not just like a normal wing, it's like something colourful and creative all the time. So I think they would be into makeup in that way. And then again, I'm just coming in. I kind of wanted to see if I could add like a pet in here. I know they have the dog, but I kind of maybe want to give them like a hamster or something, but I realised that those hamster cages are far too big to go anywhere in this house. There's so much stuff everywhere that I feel like it just won't fit. So in the end, I pull out these posters that kind of look like possibly handmade, so I decided to give them those instead. And then I just add in some of the like art canvases and stuff. I add some behind the dresser that maybe they've completed and they just don't have anywhere for them, so they've kind of put them down beside the dresser. And then some other ones that are like waiting to be used by the art easel. I then add in a wash basket because I tend to forget them all the time. So when I remember, I try and add them in. And now we are going to the final like single room, and there is a toddler, but the toddler is in with the dad. So this again is an older sim. Maybe they've graduated college. They're kind of like of a similar age to the artsy one that we just did. So I decided that since they are the oldest two, they get their own rooms, and then they don't have to share. I was kind of unsure of what to do here for a minute. I kind of wanted them to have their own personality aside from, so the twins are like super girly. The older boy is very minimal and stuff, and then we have an artsy twin, an artsy like older teen. So I was trying to think of what to do for these, and I defaulted to my favourite aesthetic ever, which they are like a little bit more gothic. I imagine them to be kind of like a little bit hippie-ish, but not in like a colourful way. I imagine they're into crystals, tarot card reading, astrology. They're very like in tune with themselves, very like at one with like, I don't really know how to describe it. Like I feel like they're into like antique stuff. They kind of got an old soul maybe. So I kind of went with this green colour, which I really like. I do think I play around with it for a minute. I'm not sure if this green wallpaper stays, just because I bring in a lot of green furniture and I feel like it looks a bit much. But I'm kind of now just coming in and bringing out anything that I think will fit in this room, and it's a lot from the Paranormal pack. The Paranormal pack is one of my favourite packs. I love the aesthetic of it. So I pull out all the stuff and I'm like, I will find somewhere for it. So I had these like shelves onto the bay window there. I bring out like a desk, a dresser, some chairs. The rug is one of my favourites. I use that rug all the time. I think it's just got so many nice swatches. I give them like a writer's desk because I imagine maybe they write books or like poetry or something. Just like yoga, I changed the walls to a black colour. I feel like this person is very much my type of person. I think we would get along. You know, we'd go to the antique shops together. We'd maybe go around and like look at like old things. I feel like they may be into photography. Like I said, they collect like crystals and stuff, kind of just like, I'm not sure what aesthetic that is, but I like it, and that's what they are. For a dresser, I gave them those like two little trunks because I really enjoy them. I think they are a little bit different, and I think this sim is a little bit different. They get a little armchair in their room, so they've got somewhere to chill out. And then on the bedside tables, I add in that like little cow plant thing, and then I'm just like raising some stuff up onto these shelves either side of the bed there. I add in a mirror, and I think, I use this one from Werewolves, which is, again, it's one of my favourites. I'm going to have to do, like, a full gothic build, because that is my favourite. I am very much into, like, I think it's, like, Edwardian, like, exterior houses, you know, the wraparound porches, the old architecture, like, loads of beams and character in a house. And I love like moody rooms. I'm very much a maximalist. So I think I might have to come in and make like my Victorian or Edwardian, I never know which one it is, dream house at some point, and kind of show you guys like what my true aesthetic is. Because sometimes I feel like I do like cutesy builds a lot, especially, I don't know if you know, but I have a TikTok. I'll link it below. And I do like room builds, and a lot of them are very cutesy and very like, I don't know, just very not always my style, which I think is fun. Sometimes I like coming in and making something that's like completely against what I know, because I think it's nice to mix it up. And like I said, I like to have a story behind a Sims build, so everybody can't be goths. We can't all be alternative dark people, you know, like into like moody things, you know. Some of us have to, unfortunately, some of us just have to be mainstream. Some of us just have to like girly things, and some of us just have to like, I don't know, like fitness and stuff. So I do have to mix those in. But yeah, I give them like some plants and stuff because I feel like they'd be into propagating. Maybe they like make their like grow their own plants and stuff. And I really like these bedside lamps I've given them. I haven't used them for a hot minute. I feel like in this build I like uncovered so many new items that I've like completely forgot existed. It was quite fun actually. So yeah, around the room they just get loads of little plant pots and stuff. And then I add in a wash basket before I forget, because we have added in that laundry stuff. And now coming into the dad's room, this room was very square to start off with, so I was kind of like figuring out how I could make it look like a little bit better rather than just being a square room. So I give them an ensuite, and then I also give them kind of like a walk-in closet section. So that like they can tuck their clothes away. I keep the dad's room it's very minimal, it's very basic, because I feel like he's just honestly not bothered. He's got so much other stuff going on with like work and all the kids. He just really doesn't care. All he wants is somewhere where he can come in, he can sleep, he can get changed, he can shower. Like, he's not bothered about making it like his whole personality in here. He's not bothered about having like bits of decor and clutter everywhere. It's very basic. In fact, I feel like he'd probably rather not have that, since he's cleaning up after his kids so much. He doesn't want all that in his room. He just wants it to be as easy to maintain as possible. So in his dresser here, I add in 2 of these like stands from high school years, and then add in like the clothes on them, and then he has a bed, and I do give him like a little seating area, I think, because he obviously has a toddler in here, so he has to have somewhere to like be with the toddler, I guess. I then give him this, I use green in here again. Green is my favourite colour, if it's not obvious, but I think it goes really well with the browns of the room. I do like this. It's very, yeah, I feel like it's very basic, but it's still kind of homey in here. It's very warm still. I think it's due to the shade of brown I've used on the walls. And I must say, I don't think I've ever used this particular shade of brown before, but I don't hate it. I feel like it's probably a shade of brown I feel like I would hate, but I don't. I quite like it. And then over here, I'm just adding in the section for like the toddler. I say toddler, it could be anything from a toddler to like an infant. I don't think they're a newborn. I think it has been a few months, maybe to a year, since the whatever happened to the mum happened. So yeah, I forgot to add in a little potty, so I had that. See, I don't think the kid would be too young that like maybe the mum has only just left. I think maybe it's been like 6 months to a year at least since that all happened. So I had like a little crib and then like a chair next to it, so that maybe the dad can read to the baby as it's going to sleep, or you know, if they're up in the night with the kid being like fussy, he's got somewhere to sit and like soothe it back to sleep. I add in some bookshelves, and again I save the game because we all know The Sims 4 and you have to save the game. Yeah, because if I'd have done this whole flat and then the save would have like, the game would have crashed, I'd have been so fuming. So I make sure to save it regularly. I've been there before and I won't let it happen again. So then above the crib here, I just added some shelves because again, there's not too much storage, so I feel like they'd have some shelves just to put all the baby stuff, like the nappies, the creams, the lotions, all that stuff that you need with the baby, really, all these like baskets full of stuff. I then add a couple just to the floor by the chair, as if maybe, as they're like trying to like, if the baby's woken up and they're trying to like soothe it back to sleep, you never know what you're going to need, so I just kind of add it just within arm's reach of them in that chair. I then put like a little mobile above the crib, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard this fact once, and you can all say if you agree with it or not, but babies, like, those mobiles like work so well with babies because some part of our history, it kind of reminds them of like birds of prey, I guess, like swarming above, so it kind of, they go quiet because it's kind of they think there's like predatory birds or something. I don't know, I read it online, so it probably is true. I don't know if I do believe it, but I read it and I've shared it with you guys now, so let me know if you think it's true. I probably don't think it's true. I think they probably go still or they go quiet because it's movement and they're just watching it, because babies are like fascinated by the simplest of things sometimes, so I think just because it's moving they're like, whoa, what is that? More than they think it's something that's going to eat them. So I'm coming in now and I'm just adding in some final like little bits around the house, because now I've like kind of figured out where the furniture is going to go and can see what space I have. So I add in some lamps, again, some more plants, and I removed some of the clutter I'd pulled out that I didn't use. And then this is the ensuite for the dad. So again, I keep it very basic in here. I do give them a bath because obviously they have a toddler, so the toddlers need somewhere to bathe. So I give them the bath over the shower. And then I make sure to add in a potty in here because I do tend to forget that. And then yeah, I just keep it very simple in here. They get a sink and then also a sink and a toilet there. And then they don't get too much clutter. Again, I think the dad would keep this very organised. It's probably the main place he has control over. Like the rest of the house, I feel like he'd tidy it up and within 10 minutes the kids would demolish it all. But I think he'd keep this kind of pretty much clutter free. He's got some clothes on the floor, but he's probably hopped out the shower and he just hasn't picked them up yet, but it's nothing too crazy as compared to like the kids areas, which I feel like would be manic all the time. I then come in and just add in the little mats like in front of the toilet and the bath, because like I said before, I think these really finish off a room, and I do enjoy those. So I just then had a look around to see if there's anything I'd missed or anything that needed like adding, and I had this like spare wall behind the TV, and I decided to fill it up with like not posters, but picture frames. I imagine this family probably takes a lot of pictures, so if you do play with this house or whatever, just fill it up with like selfies and stuff of your Sims. So yeah, this is the final tour. If you see some like glitches and stuff, this is kind of hard to film. I think it might be because the rooms are kind of a little bit small, and I was like I had the camera angle like zoomed out a little bit so we could see like the room fully. So we did get some like artifacts and like kind of glitchy moments, but please just ignore them. I try and like work around them so we can still kind of see. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. I had a lot of time, I had a lot of fun figuring out like the different personalities for the Sims, that I could like style their bedrooms after them. And I don't think I've ever made a house or like an apartment or any kind of like accommodation for this many Sims before. Normally I don't play with this many Sims because I think it just gets so chaotic and I get so overwhelmed. So normally if I've got like a few too many Sims, there's something that happens that like, you know, some Sims are gonna get rid of, or I'll like take one Sim and like do a storyline off that one. But this was fun. I really enjoyed adding everyone's personality and like making this house seem lived in. So you'll all have to let me know like what you think of it. But yeah, you'll have to let me know if there's any other builds you want me to do, or if there's any like other like scenarios that you want me to build a house for. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I hope you did too. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.